On today's show, we get our first look at the CR-10 version 2. Stick around. Hey gang, welcome to the First Layer. My name's Richard Cleveland. I'm your host here twice a week, every Wednesday and live stream Saturday night. This is the show that explores the world of 3D printing, and today is no different. In this box, we have the CR-10 version 2. What we're going to do is open up the box. Well, it's been opened already, so I kind of had a little peek at it. I'm going to take everything out of the box. We're going to discuss what's different on the inside and some of the differences on the outside. I'll build it for you, and then we'll go ahead and start a print and see how well it does. Stick around. All right, so it's all set up. Didn't take long at all. There's basically 4 screws to putting on the upper X and Y, or X and Z gantry, and then you've got these nice little supports that keep it from Z-wobbling, or keep the gantry from doing this. Is it necessary on this size machine? I've never found it necessary. What are some of the pros and cons of this machine before we start a print? Well, it comes with an E3D style hot end. It's all enclosed. They've done a little bit different with the cooling here. This one also, as you can see, has a BL Touch. This is an add-on that Spool 3D had done at the factory. So not all of them are going to come with a BL Touch installed. In the box you get the regular normal stuff, extra Bowden tube, some extra parts, a reader, a card reader. Now it does come with the Creality version of a slicer, which is powered by Cura, and it's an older version of Cura. So what I did was I just basically used Cura 4.4, put in for a CR-10S Pro, which essentially this is. Now inside, and I'm going to put some pictures up here, this comes with a genuine Meanwell power supply, as you can see here in the picture. It also comes with a brand new 2.5.2 version board, which has silent steppers. So relatively quiet. It still does have a filament out detection switch on it, which is right back here. They've used the same style that they did on the Pro as far as the hardware goes. They're still using a plastic housing for that filament detection switch, but on the plus side, they put a little brass grommet on both ends so that it doesn't wear out nearly as fast. Now, the extruder itself is a single gear, all aluminum extruder, so that's a plus. Wasn't very hard to get things set up. The bed is Creality's version of an ultra base. For anybody that knows what an ultra base is, you don't necessarily have to put any kind of adhesion method on it. The way that this is designed, it should adhere just fine. So we've got some of the first layer gray loaded here, and we're going to start one of the test prints, and we'll just go to the other screen here. There we are. So what we're going to do is we're just going to push the button. I've preheated it. Now we're just going to go down to print from TF, and you can see we have a couple of different files here. It really doesn't tell you what's on them. But we've got a pig, a dog, and a cat. I'm not sure what the 3.5H, 2.5H, or 4H means, but let's try printing the pig and see what happens. So it's going to heat up here, and then we will move the camera and we'll start to show you what's happening after it does its auto home. Now, they've already put the BL Touch firmware into this machine. So the BL Touch is already enabled. What I want to see is if the BL Touch does actually do what it's supposed to do with these files. Were these files cut with a G29 embedded into the G code? We're going to find out. And let's turn the small camera over to the bed, and we will put that right there, and you guys will get to see what's going on, and we'll switch over to that right now. It should be almost heated up here and start its G29 or G28 and then G29. All right, so I'm going to let this print, and when it's done, we'll go back and look at the print, and then we're going to slice another print on our own, and not use the pre-sliced model. Go ahead, slice our own, and do a secondary print, and we'll talk about them at the end, and wrap it all up. Give me my final thoughts. Is it worth the wait? All right, so I'm going to go ahead and let this print, and when it's done, we'll come back, have a look at the print, and then we're going to go ahead and slice another print on our own, and not use the pre-sliced model that is on there. We'll go ahead, slice our own, and we'll do a secondary print, and then we'll talk about them at the end, and we'll wrap it all up. Give you my final thoughts. Is it worth the money? Well, our print is finally finished on the CR10 version 2, and let's have a look at that print and see exactly what we think. Now, we printed this in our dark gray filament, which is the first layer filament. Let's get a close-up here. There we go. So now we can see exactly what this looks like. Now, this was sliced, this pre-sliced, and is on your SD card when you buy the machine. So let's get a look at it. A little bit closer detail shows us that we've got a little bit of ringing right here around the rounded areas. It's not horrible. I mean, that can also be taken by reducing the jerk values, which usually are set a little too high on these. I find anyway, but all Creality printers, I find the jerk setting a little too high. But overall, we've got a fairly nice finish. It's an acceptable print. This is a bank. I don't think it's going to hold many coins, but it's a bank. And it released from the raft really nicely. So not too bad all in all. I think this is an acceptable print. It's not soft in any way. It's fairly thick, so I think we've got a pretty good print there. And I'm happy with it. I mean, there is a little bit of ghosting or ringing, but again, or you could call that salmon skinning. It all depends on how you look at it. This one does not have a curly tail, so it's a pig without a tail. But other than that, I think that it came out really well. We are going to try another print at another time when we revisit the version 2. We're going to put it out onto the showroom floor here, and it'll be available from Spool 3D. So make sure that you check that out, or any of your online retailers that sell Creality products. Let's do the pros. We'll run down the pros and cons really quick. The hot end is a V6 clone. It is not an E3D V6, but it is a V6 clone, which are always a very good hot end to have. The cooling is adequate, more than adequate. I really like the new shroud. It's a little tougher to get into. We do have filament detection on this. We have an aluminum or machined aluminum extruder, which is good. It is only a single gear, but still it's good. We're still doing the Bowden tube. We have the Creality like Ultra Base as a build surface, which is really good. The menu is done really well. We have a BL Touch on this one. It is sold with a BL Touch. Now, you can get this with or without the BL Touch. It's entirely up to you on where you're ordering. I know that Spool 3D is using the BL Touch as a add-on, which comes already pre-installed for you, so make sure you check that out. Menu system is very easy, and I find it great to navigate, just like all of their menu systems. Let's talk about the cons. The base was not as rigid as I would have thought it would be. I did have to do quite a bit of tweaking to get it square. Putting these upper rails on, these supports, do I think they're necessary? Not really, no. I've never had supports on any of my Creality products, and I own two CR-10 S versions. I think the mechanics are well. I do like the fact that they're including the big wheels now. As a con to this, the software, their version of Cura, which it's an older version of Cura that they're modeling on. The one thing that they don't have in there is the CR10 version 2. So when I was looking at setting this up for my slicer, what I did was I set it up in Cura 4.4, which is the latest version, and I just used the CR10S Pro as my basis, because everything here other than the dual gear extruder is exactly the same. Really like the blue anodized aluminum. Again, these are the same type of parts that you are going to find only in red on the Pro and on the CR Max or CR10 Max. Overall, would I buy this machine at $749? Absolutely, I would. I think it's a great machine. I really like it. I think it's going to print well. Eventually, I would probably move this surface to a straight glass or mirror surface, just because I find these over time they tend to wear out. And buying another Ultra Base style surface from Creality is a little bit more expensive than I think it needs to be. Other than that, I think it's a great little machine, and I think that anybody that's looking at buying a machine of this size with 300 by 300 by 400 build volume would be very happy to have this printer in their stable. Like the way it prints. I'm going to do more prints on it, and we'll put those pictures of those prints on my Instagram and on our Facebook page, so you can check those out, watch for those as they come out. And now let's wrap things up. So we've got a few people to thank. First and foremost, we want to thank my lovely wife who's running the controls today. There she is. She's been helping me out with some episodes lately. And we want to thank Spool 3D because they supplied the room for us to be able to bring you these reviews, as well as they supplied us with the printer. It's not ours, so we do have to go and put it out on the showroom floor. This is not a sponsored video. I want to make that completely clear. None of the videos that I do currently are sponsored videos. So just so everybody is aware of that. And yeah, I want to thank my staff. Of course, we've got Brian and Jess who are off on their own adventures today, and we hope they're having a good time. Brian's now back from the east, and he's just getting reacclimated to the west, so we thank him. So Spool 3D, again, if you're looking for printers, parts, service, or filament, check them out today at spool3d.ca. Print it right, print it with Spool 3D. That's my time for today, my friends. Hey, listen, if you are new here and you got some value out of today's video, please go ahead and hit that like button. Also, hit the subscribe button if you're new here. And then you'll get notified if you hit the little bell of all of the new content that we put up here on YouTube. Check us out on Facebook, and you can follow us on Instagram as well. All those links are down in the description below, as well as a link as to where you can get one of these CR10 version 2s. And until next time, my friends, remember that the first layer is always your foundation to a great print. See you next time.